Is the Google Pixel 5a 5G worth buying in 2022? Well, in this video, we're going to find out. Hi everyone, this is Kevin here, and this is the Pixel 5a 5G. Now, I am part of Team Pixel, and this device is a gift from Google. However, all opinions expressed in this video are completely my own. Now, the Pixel 5a 5G was launched in August of 2021, so it isn't necessarily that old of a phone, but I figured it still would be interesting to make a video looking back from this point to see how the device still holds up. And the good news is this phone is still a very good option. Now, this phone is a mid-range device in the Pixel lineup, and since this phone was launched, we've gotten the Pixel 6 and Pixel 6 Pro. Now, those devices do run a different processor. It's called the Google Tensor processor, which they've created in-house. So I'm not sure what processor the successor to this phone is going to have, but I'm guessing that it'll have some form of that chip, which is interesting because this phone does feature a Qualcomm Snapdragon 765G 5G processor. So essentially, it's the final Qualcomm-powered Pixel device. Now, the Pixel 5a 5G features a very large display at 6.34 inches. The display itself looks really good, excellent colors, it is an OLED display, and it is a 1080p display as well. So everything is very crisp and clear, very good looking. We have a PPI of 415, a 20:9 aspect ratio, so a more narrow but taller form factor, and very slim bezels all throughout, which does end up giving us an 85% screen to body ratio. So in general, I'm a big fan of this front panel on the device. I just feel like it has a very sleek and good look to it. And of course, the display is very good quality. Now, in the upper left corner, we do have a hole punch for the front-facing camera, and that front camera is 8 megapixels. Now, with the Pixel 5a 5G, we are getting 128 gigabytes of internal storage, and there is no microSD card expansion with the phone. So at least with 128 gigs, that is quite a bit of storage, so that should get you very far, but it is a bit unfortunate that there is no microSD card expansion. Now, this device does not have wireless charging, so that is another thing that you will have to give up when going for a mid-range phone versus a higher-end device like the Pixel 6 or 6 Pro, but we do have a fingerprint sensor on the back, so we'll give that a try right now. Very fast and responsive. Let's do that one more time. So very quick and accurate fingerprint sensor. So that's definitely a really good thing. There is no face unlock, unfortunately, so you are just limited to that. But again, I am very glad that it does work very well. Now on the back of the device, we do have a dual camera setup. We have a 12.2 megapixel main camera and a 16 megapixel ultra wide angle camera. And the phone does support portrait mode for both the front and rear cameras on the device. So here's how things look through the main camera right now. Then from here, we can switch to the ultra-wide camera, which does let us fit a bit more content into the frame. We can also switch over to the front-facing camera, and there's me right there. And then you can go over to portrait mode to get blurred out backgrounds for both the front and rear cameras, which is definitely very awesome. Now, of course, since this is a Pixel device, you are able to take some really awesome looking photos with it. And definitely compared to pretty much all the mid-range smartphones out there, this device is going to give you some of the best camera quality. Essentially, you're getting a flagship quality camera for a mid-range price with the Pixel 5a 5G. And that really is one of the main value propositions of this phone. Now, the device features 6 gigabytes of RAM, and then for the processor, we're getting the Qualcomm Snapdragon 765G 5G processor. So as the name does imply for both the processor and the phone itself, this device does support 5G connectivity. So since getting this phone, I have used it with Mint Mobile, and it's worked very well. So I do get 5G connectivity with it, and of course, regular 4G LTE as well. But getting back to the processor for this device, it's definitely not going to be quite as fast as some of the top-of-the-line processors from some of the higher-end phones out there. But considering that the Pixel 5a 5G is a mid-range phone, you're actually getting very good performance with it. Now, I did run a benchmark test using Geekbench 5, and I'll show you the score from that test right now. But essentially, I got a single core score of 598 and a multi-core score of 1363. So what I recommend doing is running this test on your current phone, and then compare your scores to these scores to get a better idea of whether or not the Pixel 5a 5G is going to be a performance upgrade for you. But I will say, from my experience of using the phone, and from the actual scores themselves, this phone does run nice and smoothly. It's certainly very well optimized too, which is really good. And I would say for 99.9% of people out there, this device will get the job done for you. But if you do want the best of the best, the fastest speeds out there, then maybe go for one of the top of the line smartphones from Samsung, or go for a phone in the Pixel 6 series. But for most people out there, this phone will work out completely fine. Now, another interesting thing about this device is that since getting it, it has been updated from Android 11 to Android 12. So you are going to get all the various features that you would expect to get with Material U, which is the new interface that they have here. So it's kind of interesting, kind of nice. Definitely good to have it be updated. And of course, that is one of the major selling points of a Pixel device outside of the cameras, is that you are getting the software directly from Google, and you are getting very quick on-time updates. Now with this device, we're getting a 4,680 milliamp hour internal battery, and it does support up to 18 watt fast charging. So it is nice that we are getting a very large battery with the phone, and then being able to recharge it pretty rapidly, of course, is a very nice advantage to have. Now this device does feature NFC, so if you do like to make mobile contactless payments, then you can do that here with the phone, which is certainly a great thing. Now taking a closer look at the hardware of the device, it is made completely out of plastic besides the front panel. I do like that it is kind of a matte finish. It's not too fancy, but on the other hand, it doesn't really pick up any fingerprints, so that's definitely a good thing. On the left side of the phone, we have just the slot for the SIM card. Then on the right side of the device, volume down, volume up, and then the power button. Then up top here, we have a noise-canceling microphone and 3.5mm headphone jack. And then on the bottom of the phone, we have the speaker, microphone, and USB-C port for charging and data transfer. And then on the back of the phone, we have just the camera module, fingerprint sensor, and the logo. So in general, I'm a big fan of the Pixel 5a 5G. I still think it is a very good option and worth considering. And there really still aren't that many phones that compete directly against it, considering that it is kind of in that unique upper mid-range section of the market. It's really only about $100 or $200 away from some of the lower end flagship devices running the highest end Qualcomm processors. But in general, I think it's a good choice, especially if you're someone who wants the latest Android software, because as you know, most companies are pretty slow at giving you the newest versions of it. So at least if you do go this route, you're going to get great software support for a very long period of time. You're also going to get very good cameras, and also you're not going to be spending quite as much considering this is a mid-range phone. But this is the Google Pixel 5a 5G in 2022. I hope you enjoyed this video. This is Kevin, and I will see you in the next one. Take care and have a great rest of your day.